Picture a scenario. It's the year 1932 and you're one of the foremost mathematicians of your time. People know you as a genius who has been cracking code since he was 19. But now you race staring at a seemingly unsolvable problem. In front of you lies a machine that can produce 10 billion unique combinations every day. You hear the right, billion. How do you crack its code when even a supercomputer would take years to do so? Does such a task even seem possible? Well, this wasn't just some movie plot. It was a real-life challenge faced by the brilliant Alan Turing during World War II. And what he did next will blow your mind. He created the world's first programmable computer to crack the German Enigma code. This feat not only shortened the war, but also laid the foundation for modern computers. So let us dive into the story of how Alan Turing and his secret team of codebreakers worked tirelessly in silence while the fate of the world hung in the balance. In the early days of World War II, communication between German military units was encrypted using a machine called Enigma. Each letter of the alphabet was replaced with a different combination, changing every day. The Germans believed their encryption was unbreakable. But at Bletchley Park in England, a team led by Alan Turing was up for the challenge. They knew that breaking the Enigma code could shorten the war and save countless lives. But the task seemed almost impossible, given the sheer number of possible combinations. So they did something extraordinary. They built a machine called the Bomba to help them crack the code faster than the Germans could change it. To understand the ingenuity behind the Bomba machine, we need to learn a little bit about how Enigma worked. Enigma used a series of rotors, which are basically wheels with letters on them. When you typed in a letter, a plug board would connect it to a rotor, and then the rotor would spin and move on to the next one until the message was fully encrypted. Now, the rotors were arranged in a specific order each day, and that's what allowed Enigma to produce 10 billion unique combinations. If the rotors were mixed up or didn't spin properly, the message wouldn't be encrypted correctly. So the Germans took great care to keep the rotors safe from capture. However, if the British could figure out the daily rotor setting, they could decode the messages and gain valuable intelligence. But how could they possibly figure out the daily rotor setting? Well, the answer lay in the settings themselves. You see, the Germans had a rule that they couldn't use the same setting twice in a row. This meant that if they knew yesterday's setting, they could eliminate all messages encrypted with that setting and focus on the rest. This one seemingly insignificant rule turned out to be the key to cracking Enigma. All Turing needed was a machine that could test all possible combinations of the rotors and simulate their spinning to see if any of them matched the German settings. And that's where the Bomba machine came in. The Bomba was a complex piece of machinery that consisted of several parts. There was a keyboard for entering the possible rotor settings, a set of drums that simulated the rotors, and a lamp board that lit up when a match was found. The machine would go through all possible settings and stop when it found a match. Then it would start the process again with a new setting. This process would continue until the rotors were completely mixed up and the machine had checked every possible combination. This is pretty much the same technique used by modern computers when searching for solutions. So the development of the Bomba can be considered a milestone in the history of computing. The construction of the Bomba was a massive undertaking that involved several people working around the clock. One person operated the machine, another watched the lamp board for matches, and a third recorded the results. The process was slow and tedious, but it was necessary to find the solution. As soon as the first match was found, the operators would scramble to enter the new setting into the machine and start the process again. If they were lucky, they might find the next match on the second try, but sometimes it took longer. Once the Bomba was finished, it was moved to a separate hut where it was connected to a power source and tested. The first test run took place on August 1936 and the machine successfully decoded the German message. After 7 hours, this was a major breakthrough because it proved that Enigma could be broken. It gave Turing and his team hope that they could do it. But the journey was far from over. As news of their success spread, more and more people wanted access to the Bomba. This meant that Turing and his team had to come up with ways to make the machine faster and more efficient. For example, they added a feature that allowed the machine to check the next setting automatically instead of having someone manually enter it. They also developed a method for testing all possible settings in parallel rather than one at a time. These improvements made the Bomba one of the first general-purpose computers. However, there was still a long way to go before computers became as powerful and efficient as they are today. While the Bomba was a remarkable achievement, it wasn't perfect. It was large and heavy, taking up a lot of space and requiring a lot of maintenance. It also consumed a lot of energy and produced a lot of heat, which made it hard to keep cool. Nevertheless, it was a crucial step towards developing smaller, more portable and energy-efficient computers. The impact of the Bomba on the outcome of World War II cannot be overstated. Historian Andrew Hodges estimates that the breaking of the Enigma code saved many lives, shortened the war by 2 years, and helped the Allies win crucial battles. The most famous example is Operation Dynamo, the evacuation of Dunkirk, France, where over 300,000 British troops were rescued from certain death. The Royal Navy and merchant ships were dispatched to rescue the troops based on intelligence gathered through breaking the Enigma code. Another example is the Battle of the Atlantic, the longest and largest naval battle in history, where the German U-boat campaign threatened to cut off Britain's supply lines and starve the country into submission. By breaking the Enigma code, the British were able to track the U-boats and protect their convoys, ultimately winning the battle. The impact of Turing's work extended beyond the war. His methods and the computers he developed laid the foundation for modern cryptography and computer science. After the war, he continued to work on improving encryption methods and computers, but he faced persecution for his homosexuality. He died in 1954 at the age of 41, but his legacy lives on. In 2009, the British government issued him a public apology, and in 2013, he was pardoned for gross indecency. The story of the forgotten rule behind the Indus Script code highlights the importance of detail and the unexpected ways that problems can be solved. It also shows how one man's trash is another man's treasure. What the Germans saw as a weakness of their machine ended up being its Achilles heel. And it was this weakness that Turing exploited to break the code and win the war. So next time you face a problem, don't just focus on the big picture. Pay attention to all the details, no matter how small they may seem. You never know when one of them might lead you to the solution. So now we want to ask you, did you find this video interesting? Would you like to see more videos like this on our channel? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on any of our future uploads. We've got lots of exciting content coming up that we think you'll enjoy. Thanks for watching.